Hey everyone, my name is Seth Smock and I am the sales trainer here at ENS Security. And today we're going to be doing a full setup of our R29C from Akuvox. We'll be doing some wiring into a Maglock and into an exit button. And we'll be looking at the web interface, the cloud portal, and some app configuration, as well as showing you how to get it set up with an RFID card and face recognition for a user. So let's first jump into some of the specs with the R29C. The first thing that I want to mention with this Doorphone is that it runs on an Android operating system and it has a 7-inch touchscreen display with an aluminum housing material, which makes it IK6 rated and IP67 rated. We do have options in both silver and in black for this unit. We have the silver one here, but you can get it in black as well. One unique thing with this is it does have 3 relay outputs, so you can actually connect up to 3 separate doors of access control with just this unit alone. And there is 3 relay inputs, so you're covered there. This device is PoE powered and does have a built-in mic and speaker for 2-way communication. The camera on this unit is a 2 megapixel and it does support IR. There's also a variety of entry credentials that you could be using, such as PIN, NFC, RFID, face recognition, Bluetooth, and even QR entry for guests. And another awesome feature with this is it does support anti-spoofing technology. So for example, printed photos or digital photos and videos of people's faces won't actually trigger the face recognition. So there is some protection on that side. And lastly, thing I want to mention with this is it is a extremely customizable unit here, including customizing the screensaver, some logo, and the actual background of the device. So there's a lot of customization options for you. Now we're going to talk about the products that we're actually going to be using alongside the R29C. The first thing I want to mention, and I don't have it actually in front of me, is an 8-channel PoE switch. We have a ton in this room, so we're going to use one of those, but make sure you guys have at least a 4-channel PoE switch. We're going to be using some Cat5 cable, and we're going to be using some 18-2 gauge and 22/4 gauge. You can use a variety of different gauges, but for us, this is what we have available, so we're going to be using that. We also do have a 1,100-pound single-door Maglock with a 12-volt power supply, and we are using a mechanical exit button. Quick little mention as well, in a future video, we're actually going to be connecting this unit up to an indoor monitoring station. So make sure to stay on the lookout for that video coming up in the future. Now we're looking at the back side of the R29C, and I want to go through the terminals and the ports on the back side of this unit to give you guys some insight. So on one side of the terminals, on the top 2, you're going to have your terminals that are going to be for powering up the device if you choose not to do PoE powered. If you choose to do PoE powered, you never have to worry about these terminals at top. The next 3 terminals here are going to be for your Wiegand protocol. And then after that, there's going to be a total of 6 terminals that are going down the side here that are going to be for your input relays, input relay 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to have your bottom 3, which are going to be for your RS485 terminals, which are going to be typically used for elevator control. We're not going to get into that today. We're going to be using the input on this side. And then on the other side are where your relay outputs are. So the first 3 terminals are going to be for your relay A. Next 3 are going to be for your relay B. And then the last 3 are going to be for your relay C. Now we're going to be using relay output A, these first 3 terminals, the NO, COM, and NC terminals. And then at the bottom side of this device is actually where your PoE port is for plugging this device to PoE power. Now we're going to be going ahead and starting up wiring this device, starting with the relay output. Now we're going to be using relay A, like I said, and we're going to be using specifically the NC terminal, which is the 3rd terminal here, and the COM terminal. Now we are using a Maglock for this device. If we were not using a Maglock and we were using something like a Door Strike, we'd probably use the NO terminal. But for us, we're going to be using the NC terminal here. So to get this wired up, you're going to go ahead and go to the orange terminal. You're going to push down on the proper one, and I'm going to be using the red wire. So you want to make sure you're using the red wire, and you're going to go ahead and push the wire through. And it's going to be nice and secure once you let go. Make sure that no wire is exposed. And then you're going to go ahead and wire the black wire into the COM terminal. So we're going to go ahead and push down on the COM terminal and push this through here. And there we go. Now both of these wires are firmly in their terminals, and we are good for wiring up the relay output on this device. We're gonna have to do it on the Maglock side now. Now we're going to be going ahead and wiring the R29C into the Maglock. We are using the red and black cable that was from the relay output. So the first thing that you guys are going to want to do is take the black wire on both of these devices, or the negative wires, and you're going to use a wire nut or electrical tape, but you just want to put these wires together. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and put these over and screw the wire nut on. Alrighty, now what you're going to do is get the terminal here. We have this terminal here, which is one side positive, one side negative. You can just use a standard pigtail, but we're using this because it's a little easier to get that concept down. Now we're going to be going ahead and taking a terminal, and we're going to be using the positive sides of both the Maglock and the R29C. And I'm going to be taking the positive side first of the R29C and putting it into the negative terminal on this pigtail here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that through. And put it all the way in. Grab a screwdriver and screwdrive this down. Once that's firmly in here, you're going to go ahead and move to the positive side of the Maglock, and you're going to put that into the positive side of the pigtail. And you're going to screw that down as well. And once this is firmly in, you are actually good to go ahead and plug this in if you want to. Now, the wires that we just did and wired, these are for the Maglock. Okay, this is for our relay output. Now we're going to go ahead and wire our relay input for our exit button. So I'm going to go ahead and use the door C input on the device, which is the 6th and 7th terminal from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to start off with 7 on the 7th terminal, which is our door terminal. And I'm going to go ahead and use the green wire that I have on this 22/4 gauge. Keep in mind, same process. You're going to push all the way down, and you're going to make sure that the wire is firmly through. Okay. Another thing I want to mention is that I'm not using the red or black wire on this cable, so I went ahead and pushed it to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the yellow cable, the yellow wire, into the 6th terminal, which is the ground terminal. So I'm going to go ahead, same process. I'm going to push down on the terminal. Once you get that yellow terminal all the way down, or yellow wire all the way down in the terminal, you are good to go, and you got this backside wired. The only other wire or cable that's going to have to go into the back of this device is the PoE, but we'll see that to the end when we want to get everything powered up. Now we're actually wiring the backside of the exit button, which is from our relay input from our R29C. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take that green wire, and I'm going to go ahead and put this into the COM terminal. Once it's all the way in, it's going to be nice and secured. And we're going to go ahead and wire up the other terminal here with our yellow wire. Now keep in mind real quick that we are using a mechanical exit button. So if you're using a exit button that is requiring power, you're going to also use the red and black wire to go ahead and power this up. And once they are fully secured and nice and snug, we are good to go. Now that we're finished wiring everything up, we're going to go ahead and plug in these devices to power and get these all set up. So first I want to show you the Maglock is unpowered, and as soon as I go ahead and plug this in, there is now power going to the Maglock, and the Maglock is secure. Now going over to the R29C, I'm using standard Cat 5 cable, and I'm going to go ahead and plug this directly into that terminal on the bottom. And we are good to go. If I quickly just lift this up here, you can see that the device is now turning on. And now we're going to jump into the web interface to start programming this unit. Now we're on my laptop here, and we have the Akuvox IP tool pulled up on the screen here. You're going to want to make sure you have this installed. There'll be a link down below in the description to the Akuvox Knowledge website to get this set up. But once you guys do have this set up and you're ready to go, you're going to open it up and you're going to look for the device that you are using. Make sure that you are under the same exact network as that device, or else it won't work. Here at our branch, we obviously have a lot of different units set up for testing purposes, but the unit we will be using is the R29. And what we're specifically looking for is the IP address of that device. So here's the IP address for this R29. You're going to go ahead and put this into a web browser. Once you have done that, you'll log into the web GUI login screen. Everything for the default password will always be admin for the username and admin for the password. Once you go ahead and do that, it'll prompt you with creating a new password. Highly suggest that you guys create a new password every single time. It'll still keep you secure and make sure that your system is protected. So I suggest creating a new password. You just type the password here. For me, we're just doing demo purposes, so I'm gonna hit ignore. The next thing that I want you guys to do to always make sure that you guys are up to date on everything is to go down to where it says upgrade, go to where it says basic, and you're gonna see right here what firmware version the device is on. Now, I highly suggest getting the Akuvox Knowledge account set up and going on there to check out if there's any newer firmwares. But what we're going to show you how to do is setting up a relay out, a relay in, and doing some customization options. So first thing that you're going to want to do is go to where it says intercom, and you're going to scroll down to where you see relay. Now, this is where you can customize the relay outputs on the door. If you're only using one relay out, two relay outs, or three relay outs, you can customize the ones that best fit your desired outcome, such as customizing the trigger delay or even customizing the hold delay. If you want the hold delay on the door to stay open for, let's say, 16 seconds, you can put that here, and you can customize the relay B, relay C, and so on. I'm going to leave it at 5 seconds. But you do have quite a bit of options here. And you also have the relay name where you can customize. I already have put in here front door, but you can customize this accordingly to whatever name you want it to be. We are only using relay A, so we're only going to really be focused on this one. And there'll be even more options down below as well. After you're done customizing the relay that best fits to your needs of the location, you're going to jump down to where it says input. Now these are your inputs for the relays, okay? Depending on if you have an exit button set up and how many of them you got set up, you can customize those in here. To make sure that they're fully working, if you, for example, put input A and you have relay C set up, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have the proper relay as the execute relay. So for us, we used relay A, right? So everything, even though we're not using these other inputs, I'm going to make sure that they say relay A because that's the only one that really matters to us, right? Because that's the one we wired into. After you're done with that, you can go ahead and hit submit and it'll save this information. And you now have your relay out and your relay in customized to your liking. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the more customization options, such as schedule, where you can create a schedule for the door to be unlocked, or to when there can be access gained, and so on. You can set up face settings into the device for face recognition. You can do pen settings, LED settings, and a ton of different options. Okay, lift controls, camera, body temperature settings, okay, to detect body temperatures. But what we're gonna focus on here is going down to phone and going to where it says import/export. This is a screen where there's going to be a bunch of different options for you to go through and fully customize the device to pictures and logos to whatever your liking is, okay, depending on the location. Maybe you have a community property and there's a bunch of tenants there and you want the device to show pictures of the pool and the nice setting around the apartment complex, or maybe at an office and you wanted to put the office logo of the main building onto the device as a screensaver. Well, you got plenty of options. So to get that set up, what you're going to do is we're going to show you how to do it on the screensaver, but there's a bunch of different options you can do as well. upload screensaver pictures. So it rotates in between 5 pictures right now, and the playtime on these are all 5 seconds apiece. So the screensaver will rotate between these 5 images, and they'll display each one for 5 seconds. These are the default images that come on the device. If you want to change them, or you only maybe want 1 or 2 images to show up, you can go ahead and delete the images you no longer want. So for us, I just want to display 1 image pretty much permanently. It is required that you have at least 2 pictures set up at all times. So we're going to go ahead and delete number 5, number 4, and number 3 as well. So as you see, after going ahead and deleting those 3 images out, it'll say null on 3, 4, and 5. And it'll show you file exist on 1 and 2. Now we want to customize and pick the images that will display on image 1 and 2. So go down to where it says please choose screensaver ID. For upload, we're going to pick image 1, and we're going to go to select file. Now I already have some files that I want to upload here, but you're just going to pick the file that you want. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Once you have that screensaver pulled up for the image, you can go ahead and hit upload and confirm it. So now we have that image in place of image 1 or ID 1. Now I want to get that same exact image on image 2, so it always displays that 1 screensaver image. So same process, except you hit image 2 now, and you go to select file and choose the file that you want. As you see, I chose the same exact file as the one we were using before, but if you want to choose a different one to display a multitude of different pictures, you can do that, no problem. And go ahead and hit upload. Confirm it. And as you guys see now, the device is customized. So the screensaver of the image is a nice little image that I put together just to show you guys that there is quite a bit of the customization that you can do on this device. Now coming back to the laptop here, you can scroll down and see that you can customize even more things, such as customizing a tone. So if you want your voice to say, for example, opening door outside, you can choose a file to do that. And you just have to upload the file yourself. You can have somebody record the audio files, or like I said, you can do it yourself and customize it to whatever you want. You can import a background image. Okay, this is another thing that a lot of people like to do, giving you a little bit more customization. Make sure it's a PNG file. You can import a logo. You can import contact backgrounds, time view background, and even a boot animation when you're booting up the device. So there's a ton of different customization options. And when you're going around to different installations, you're going to want to be able to customize that device to that customer's liking as much as possible and really make them feel that they're getting a nice, serviceable device that they can have at their location. So now what we're going to do is hop on over to the cloud portal to continue the setup of this device. Alrighty, once you're in the cloud portal, you will have 2 options, either creating a community property or creating an office property. For us, what we're going to be doing is creating an office property. So I'm going to make sure I click office here, but also make sure that you guys are on the project manager role inside the cloud portal. If you guys do not have this account, by the way, and you're going to do an installation for Akuvox equipment, make sure to go ahead and give your ENS sales rep a call to make sure they can get you an account set up so you can get access to this during your installation. So I'm going to go ahead and click office now. And as you see, I already have a test location set up that we'll be using, but I want to show you guys how to actually create an office. So to create an office, you're going to go to where it says new, and you're going to fill out the required information. Okay, you're going to fill out everything with the red asterisk, and you can even customize it a little more, for example, by changing the time format. Now in our AO2S video that we've released in the past, I do go into detail about creating this actual part, a little more detail. So if you want to see that, make sure you go watch that video to get a little more help when filling out this. But once you have done that, you actually have a office unit created. And now you're going to want to get a property manager up to date with this. So I've already created a property manager account for an email. But for you to get that property manager account, you're just going to go down where it says new property manager. And you're going to put the first name, last name, and the email of that property manager. Now keep in mind, not everybody is going to be a property manager. The only person that should be a property manager is the actual property manager of that location, the owner of the building, or somebody in charge that keeps track of this information of who enters, exits, and so on of the device and the doors. Once you input that, they'll actually get an email with their own login to this cloud portal to help track and keep information up to date. Now I've already created a property manager account, so I'm good to go. To get a property manager account added, you're going to go to the purple icon here on the device where it says property manager. And typically when you see somebody, you'll see that they are going to be on this side, okay, to be selected. To add this property manager to that location, you're just going to select them and hit add. And now that property manager is going to be assigned to that office building. I already have that assigned here, so I'm good to go. Now we're going to go into the little icon right here, the eye shape. And when you pull up this screen, you're more than likely going to want to create a department right away. So I already have a department created, but to create a department, you're going to hit add department. You're going to create a department name, and you're going to select the floor that this department is in. Now this is important for office buildings because not every floor are you going to want to give access to every employee, right? So you're going to want to customize this to whatever you need. For example, we'll pick 2, 4, 6, and so on. Or you can just click all floors if you want to give them access to everything. And then you create a department name. For example, you can select marketing department. For us, we already have a training department created, so we're good right there. But what we want to do now is actually add a device. So to add a device onto the cloud portal, you're going to need, again, the IP tool. Okay. What you're going to need from the IP tool is the MAC address. Okay. So if you want to get this device added, you go to the new side on the screen and you look where it says MAC address or MAC. Then you can go and pull up the IP scanner. And you're going to get this MAC address right here of the device. You don't need the IP address this time, just the MAC address. So go ahead and copy and paste that MAC address into this bar right here. And then you're going to fill out the required information such as location, network group, and the relay name. And you can even add more relays as well. And you can select the device type. So this R29 is a multi-tenant door phone, so I'm going to leave it at that. But you can also select single tenant door phone, indoor monitor, guard phone, and access control. So you'd have some options to select from. Once you've done that, you're going to hit submit, and then the device will pull up here. Quick little mention, when you first add this device onto the screen, under status, it's going to show more than likely a gray circle here. Give it a few minutes, go grab a cup of coffee, do what you got to do, and when you come back, this status should be turned to green, meaning that this device is now online. You have to wait a few minutes. From my experience, it's about 2 to 5 minutes for this device to come online to be able to access this device. And if you have to, you can actually go back to the edit and actually edit this device even more. As you see, I've already done some edits on this, such as front door and putting the MAC address already in this unit. And now what we're going to want to do is add a user to show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to go down to where it says training department. I'm going to keep it under people, but you can also select public device if you would like. I'm going to go to people, and I'm going to go ahead and see where it says new. You're going to want to make sure you choose either personnel or staff, depending on what this user is going to be for. For example, personnel only has access permissions to devices within their department parameters. So if you need to limit the amount of people coming around the area, you're going to want to make sure you select personnel for that person if you don't want to give them access to everything. Because as a staff account, they're going to have access to all the doors. Maybe it's a cleaner that needs to get between all the floors to be able to clean, the locations in the offices. You're going to want to select staff. Now you're going to want to go down to first name, and you're going to want to input that person's first name as well as last name. And I'm going to just go ahead and put cloud account right here. You're going to want to select an ID. And you're going to want to input an email address. Make sure this email address is accurate because the person will receive an email of the login information for the phone app. And you're going to want to go to where it says all floors, and you can change the accessible floors if you wanted to, but all floors is selected for this department, so we're going to leave it at that. English for the language, and you're going to want to select the country and region, so you can go ahead and put in, the proper country. And you're going to want to input a mobile number as well, okay, of the person that you're using. And you're going to want to go to SIP or IP call, and you can select the one that best suits you. And you can go now select Smart Plus Intercom features. Okay, now keep in mind you want to make sure that you select that feature to be able to get access to the calling people via the phone app and be able to have that intercom back and forth with one another. Once you got all that set up now, you can go ahead and hit submit. Now, looking at this user account real quick, you can see the ID, the email, the mobile number, if they're active or not, and if the app status is registered or not. Now, I'm going to quickly show you guys how to get registered on the app as a end user so you guys can see what that looks like. Now, quick little mention. The person that you put on file, they are going to receive an email address with the login information to their Smart Plus app. There'll be a link to download the app as well as a password and username for you to get set up. Once you have the Smart Plus device online, you're going to go ahead and put the email address as well as the password that is provided in the email. And you're going to hit login. And you can also set a PIN code when they log in as well. For example, setting 0909 and hitting done. Now they actually have basic access to the app now. They can go ahead and click open door. They can go ahead and select monitor. Well, they'll get a live monitor feed. You can go to where it says me. Now under me, what you're going to be looking for is the number that is underneath the Seth Smock cloud account name. That 343112980 number, where you're going to be needing for this next step. So what we're going to do is now we're going to hop on back over to the laptop and I'll show you guys the next step. Make sure you guys write that number down and keep it handy. Now I'm back on the laptop here. We're looking at the web interface again. For this next step, it is crucially important to get the web interface back pulled up to be able to now create a contact and a dialing function for this user. So to get that set up, you're going to go under where it says phone and look for dial plan. You're going to go ahead and scroll down and hit add. Now what you're looking for is a box that says replace one. This is where you're going to put that number that it was on the phone app. That 343112980. What this number is basically the number that people can call you on. But the problem with it is it's such a long number, it might be a little hard for people to remember sometimes and be able to call you directly. So what you're going to do is hit replace one, put this number in here, and go to where it says prefix. This is going to be your phone number basically on the intercom system. So if I put 1234, every time somebody dials 1234 on the dialer, it'll actually go ahead and call this number directly. So I put 1234. This is the same exact number, the 343112980 number, and you can go ahead and hit submit. Now, once you have that set up right there, if you go ahead and dial 1234 on the device, you'll see that you get a call. So let's hop over to actually locally configuring the R29C, as well as showing you guys a little bit more about what you can do in the phone app. Now we're on the actual R29C local device, and this is a little configuration screen that you're going to see right away when you turn the device on. So you can go ahead and hit start. Choose the language that you're going to be using, most commonly English. Hit next. And then you could choose the theme that you want to use. There's one for a villa, there's one for building, and as well as office. And we're going to hit done. We have this pulled up. You may need to go ahead and activate the dial button here by going into the web GUI and going into the settings and activating the dial. But once you're in here, you can actually go ahead and press dial. Then you're going to want to enter the settings. So to enter the settings, the default password, and you could change this also in the web GUI for security reasons, but the default password is going to be 9999. Go ahead and call that. It's going to access the settings, and then you're going to want to put in the code 3888 and hit OK. And you can also set up a 4-digit project password. I'm going to go ahead and just hit skip for now. I do recommend doing that for security reasons. And then you're going to access the backend settings of this device. You can do a lot of local things on here, such as adjusting volume, contacts, the lock. You can reboot the device from here. You can adjust users by going into here. and adding a user manually. You can go ahead and add a user ID. We're gonna leave it at 1 for now. You can also add a name for the person. We'll say Seth Test. You can also set up a private PIN and an RF card. Once you hit that add RF card, you can go ahead and take an RF card and you can go to scan the device, and it'll go ahead and read the card, and you can hit save. And you're good to go. It'll add that RF card to that person. You can also set up face recognition from here as well, and adjust the floor number, door, a web relay, and etc. I'm gonna go ahead and hit select door here, and this is gonna access all 3 doors. There's only 1 relay on this device, so it's okay, just have all 3 selected. And you can hit save. So now this is a person with access to this device. Keep in mind that this is only gonna work for actually gaining access to the facility. So if I go ahead and take my RF card,
please come in.
It goes and lets me know the opening door is successful. And it's very easy to get these online. All you have to do is, basically scan these onto the device,
Please come in.
and you'll get access. Also, you can go down here to contacts. You can go into the contacts and you can select training department. This is the department we set up earlier on the cloud portal. And actually, if I go ahead and click this, I can actually call this number, and I'll actually be able to call the person who is in charge of this account and be able to, do my intercom features right here directly. And I'll show you guys a little bit more on that later. If you guys have a reception set up, you can also set up a reception. You can also do delivery. And if somebody goes ahead and gets a temporary key, you can go ahead and hit temp key. If you have a QR code because you're a visiting guest, this is where you would press a temp key and then just scan your phone onto the device and it'll give you access. And of course, you do have PIN access here. I have another account, which is the PIN code of 0909, and hit confirm. This is the cloud account PIN code, so now I gained access that way as well. Very simple process, so let's jump over to the phone app now. All right, now we're actually looking at the Smart Plus app. And I'm gonna show you some more of the features in this app and how they kind of work with the actual device. So the first thing on your screen is the open door button. If I just go ahead and hit that open door, I go ahead and hit yes, and the door will open. You can also call the device and the intercom directly from it. So if I hit call, I'm actually calling the front door, and I can have two-way communication going back and forth. And as you see, I can see our editor drilling back there on my screen. And we got that set up. I can hit hang up. And I can also live monitor the device as well by viewing it live. And if I want to, I can also hit capture and take a quick little picture, and I can save that in the Akuvox little database here. And I can also open the door by hitting open door, and I can hit open door from this screen as well, and the door will open. Let's hop back out of this. I can also go to activities and see a log for the door, a call history, and any capture logs. For example, the capture I just took, it will be found right here, and I can view that image. And I can go into me, and this is where you're gonna get a little bit more of the settings. We actually seen this part earlier where there's this number right here, which is actually used for my phone number to call the device. But I can also go into authentication, go to, for example, face recognition, and I can go ahead and now set up face recognition on this device by hitting get started. And line your face up, and the setup should be complete. So now if I went up to the device and use my face, it's gonna go ahead and let me in. It's gonna recognize it's my face because I got that set up. Also, you can go into the call settings and you can set up a Smart Plus as a contact, a landline, and contact preferences. You can go to notification settings. You can select do not disturb if you want to get that set up as well. And you can go into advanced settings where you can go into clear the cache, video quality, export logs, and there's a ton of different things in here. So going back home, it's a great device. Last thing I want to mention right here is the temp key. If I want to generate a QR code for somebody so they can gain access to the facility if I'm not going to be there, I can hit temp keys, hit this little plus sign in the top right corner, and then When I'm on this screen, I can pick a name for that person. For example, we'll say Julian. You can customize an ID number. If you ever wanted to repeat, each door counts for 1, the time that they're going to be able to gain access to it, and you can hit submit. And then a QR code will actually be generated. You can send this QR code directly to this person, so when they come to the device, all they gotta do is come up and scan it, and it'll look something like this. Hit that 10 key button, and you just scan the device directly. So this is just some of the things on the app and getting you an idea. So let's just get into kind of the outro of this video and continue along. Alrighty guys, to wrap this video up, the R29C is one of those very versatile devices that allows for two-way communication, video, access control with 3 different relay outputs, and it allows for a lot of different things and can be applied to a lot of different scenarios like multifamily buildings, offices, or even smaller buildings and large buildings, warehouses. Wherever people are coming in and out of, the R29C is a great device to put at your front door. So go ahead and make sure you guys get this picked up. This is one of those devices that, like I said, is very versatile. So make sure to like this video, go ahead and subscribe to us below, and check us out on our other social medias. And to get this picked up today, make sure to give your ENS sales rep a call.